I read everything about these 5 cases before recording. I still don't know what to make of them, and I'm not going to pretend I do. 5 places, 5 different decades, 5 times the scientific method walked in confident and walked out with the wrong shape of answer. Forget Dead Mountain. Forget Skinwalker. Tonight isn't one mystery, it's 5. 5 places where the scientific method walked in confident and walked out shorter. A real mystery isn't a story without an explanation. It's a story with several explanations, none of which fit all the evidence. These 5 aren't gaps in knowledge, they're rejections of the tools we'd use to fill the gap. Number 1. August 15th, 1977, Ohio. The Big Ear radio telescope was sweeping a section of sky in the constellation Sagittarius. For 72 seconds, the receiver picked up a narrow band signal at 1420 megahertz. That's the hydrogen line. The frequency astronomers had argued would be the most natural channel for an interstellar broadcast. 30 sigma above background noise. Strongest unexplained signal in the history of SETI. Jerry Eman was the astronomer reviewing the printout days later. When he saw the signal's strength column, he circled the data points in red ink, and he wrote one word in the margin. Wow. The signal lasted 72 seconds. It matched everything theorists predicted an alien signal would look like. Strong, narrow band emission, right frequency, right kind of source. The wrong part of the prediction was when. Astronomers pointed every dish they had at that piece of sky. They watched it for years, then decades, then 47 years and counting. Nothing. The signal never came back. A 2017 paper proposed a comet. A pair of comets, actually. Hydrogen clouds passing through the Big Ear's beam at the right moment. Other astronomers ran the numbers. The comets weren't dense enough, weren't in the right place, didn't move in the right way. 47 years, the strongest signal SETI ever got. And the best explanation we have is the kind that requires asterisks. Astronomers pointed every dish they had at that piece of sky. For 47 years, nothing. The signal didn't repeat. Number 2. Taos, New Mexico. Since the early 1990s, about 2% of the local population has reported hearing a low-frequency hum. Constant, mechanical, sourceless. The federal government investigated in 1993. Federal Highway Administration, the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, Los Alamos National Laboratory. They sent acoustic specialists. They surveyed residents. They couldn't find the source. The acoustic specialists didn't deny the hearers were experiencing something. They couldn't find what. Microphones placed in homes where residents heard the hum recorded nothing. Microphones a mile away, also nothing. Similar hums have been reported in Bristol, England, Windsor, Ontario, Auckland, New Zealand. None of them traced to a confirmed source. None of them heard by everyone. All of them constant. Number 3. July 2nd, 1951, St. Petersburg, Florida. The landlady went to wake Mary Reeser for breakfast. The door handle was hot. The room behind it was 67 years old of strange. Mary Reeser was 67. She'd taken a sleeping pill and gone to bed in her armchair. The armchair was almost gone. So was Mary. Reduced to ash, a pile on the floor where the chair had been. Her skull was shrunken. The medical examiner described it as the size of a teacup. Her left foot, still wearing her slipper, was intact, untouched. Everything else, gone. Her left foot was intact. The shoe was still on it. Everything else, gone. Down to ash. The temperature required to reduce a human body to ash is around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Crematoriums operate at 1,600. To do that to a body takes hours, and it leaves bone fragments, not ash. The wick effect theory says body fat can act like the wax of a candle if a cloth wick, clothing, upholstery, concentrates the burn. Slow, low temperature, hours long. It explains the ash. It doesn't explain how a plastic clock on the wall melted while the armchair next to her stayed mostly intact.
Number 4. Marfa, Texas. The first written record is from 1883. A young rancher named Robert Reed Ellison saw lights moving across the horizon east of town. He thought they were Apache campfires. They weren't. There's now an official viewing area on Highway 67 outside Marfa. On any given clear night, you can park there and watch lights appear on the horizon. They float, they split, they change color. They follow no aircraft pattern. A 2004 University of Texas at Dallas study attributed some of the lights to car headlights on a distant highway. Some, not all. And it doesn't address why the Apache and Comanche reported them. 300 years before, there were highways to blame.
Number 5. June 30th, 1908. Just after 7 in the morning. In remote Siberia, near the Tunguska River, something exploded in the sky. The explosion was the equivalent of 12 megatons, 3,000 times more powerful than Hiroshima. It flattened 80 million trees over an area larger than Greater London. People were knocked off their feet 400 miles away. Eyewitnesses described the sky splitting in half, a column of light brighter than the sun, a heat wave that reached them seconds after they saw the flash, then the shock wave, then the silence. The first scientific expedition didn't arrive until 1927, 19 years later. Leonid Kulik trekked into the impact zone, expecting to find a crater. There wasn't one. There were flattened trees radiating outward from a central point. There was a small lake in the middle that some researchers thought might be the impact crater. It wasn't deep enough. The trees at the very center were still standing. The standard theory now is an airburst, a meteor or comet exploding several kilometers above the surface, releasing its energy without hitting the ground. The theory works, almost. It doesn't explain why no fragments were ever recovered. It doesn't explain the unusual atmospheric effects. On the night of June 30th, 1908, the sky over London was bright enough to read a newspaper by. At 1 in the morning. Over 1,000 miles from the explosion, an explosion that bright, over land that empty, and the sky over London turned light enough to read by. That's not nothing. 5 different cases, 5 different decades. They share one thing. Each one is fully observed, fully documented, fully witnessed by credible people, and still unsolved. Science is a method, not a promise. The method assumes mysteries can be cornered and pressured into giving up their secrets. These 5 cornered the method instead. They sat there, observed, documented, and they refused to be solved. That's not a failure of science. It's a feature of reality. The method has limits. These 5 are where the limits live. Next time, back to one case, one file, and a night nobody involved ever explained. 3 more files, 3 more questions. Pick whichever one keeps you up tonight.